All right, everyone. So much has changed since I made my last Nvidia stock price prediction for 2024. The company has released earnings that beat expectations meaningfully. Earnings per share look like they're going to be much better than we thought this year and next year. And the growth in the AI market is much better than we anticipated, even though the expectations were already robust for AI buildouts of data centers. So I'll review the latest factors that have changed and update my buy recommendation, the stock price recommendation for Nvidia stock by the end of 2024. So let's take a look. I want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video. Moomoo is a trading platform that allows individuals to buy and sell stocks and other investments. I posted the link to Moomoo in the description below. If you use that link to sign up at Moomoo, it will help support my channel. More importantly, you can get special incentive for using my link. One of my favorite features of the Moomoo app is the stock screener. Let me show you how it works. So you all know I like to look for companies with a high operating profit margin. So in the Moomoo app, I can search for stocks that have an operating profit margin I'm looking for. So in the screener, I add a filter and I could type in here operating profit margin, and I prefer the trailing 12-month operating margin. I click add, and then it gives me a box here to show me what percent I'm looking for. Let's say I'm looking for companies that have a specifically 20 to 21% operating profit margin. I type that in and you can see the list of companies that come up, including some popular companies like Caterpillar and AT&T. Now let's get back to this important financial analysis. Okay, so one of the factors I look at when I'm making my stock price prediction is the earnings per share expectations for the fiscal year ahead. Now, I'll make a note that Nvidia's fiscal year is 1 year ahead of the calendar year. That means its current year is 2025 and its next fiscal year is 2026. I know it's confusing, but companies are allowed to have fiscal years that are different from calendar years. So, since I'm using the forward price to earnings ratio to make my stock price prediction, I need the earnings per share 1 year ahead. So, I'm going to use the 2026 expectations for Nvidia's earnings per share. And you'll notice that its earnings per share expectations for 2026 have been steadily increasing over the last 90 days. It started out that investors on Wall Street that are following Nvidia stock, they thought its earnings per share would be $30.11. Then they slightly revised it lower to $28.88 for 60 days ago. I should say 84 cents. Then it was back up again to $32.10 32 days ago. And 7 days ago, it increased to $35.90 before now being at $36 per share in split adjusted earnings per share expectations for next year. So that's one of the factors I'm going to use. The next factor I'm going to use is its forward price to earnings ratio. Currently, it's trading at a forward PE of 38.1. That's up meaningfully from where it started the year, closer to a forward PE of 20 or 25. Now, I'm also going to need Nvidia's stock price, which is currently at $131 per share. This too is up meaningfully from where it started the year at closer to $45 per share. This is on the split adjusted basis now, following the company's 10-for-1 stock split. Okay, so now that we have all the major factors, we can begin our analysis and stock price prediction for the end of 2024. So my 2024 price target, as you see here. So if everything else stays the same, meaning its earnings per share expectations for the next fiscal year, for EPS for Nvidia fiscal year 2026, calendar year 2025. Again, it's confusing, so I'll say that multiple times. $3.60, and the forward PE 38.1, as we saw from the charts. If all else stays the same, then Nvidia's stock price could end the year at $137 per share, which would be only a roughly 4% increase from the $132 per share it's currently trading at. Clearly, I think Nvidia's performance is going to be better than that, given that I have Nvidia placed on my list of top 24 stocks to buy right now. So one of the factors I expect will increase is the forward price to earnings ratio. If that forward PE increases to 45, then Nvidia's stock price could be $162 per share by the end of the year. If the forward price to earnings rises to 48, the stock price could rise to $173 per share. Admittedly, this is a scenario I don't think is very likely. It's not my base case scenario for the forward price to earnings to increase to 48. I think if the stock price were to increase to $173 per share, I think the majority of that increase will come as a result of increased earnings per share expectations. But it's not all great news. Things could get worse, and the forward PE could fall to 25, and in that case, Nvidia's stock price could fall to $90 per share. So in my scenarios I've considered here, the 4 scenarios, the stock price could range from $90 per share to $173 per share. That's a wide range of outcomes, to be sure. Where do I think is the most likely outcome for Nvidia's share price? I think it's a forward price to earnings ratio between 40 and 45. And so I think the stock price by the end of the year would be somewhere in the range of 145 to 155 by the end of the year, which would be a nice increase from the current share price of $131.88. Now, things could be much better than I'm predicting, and things could be much worse than I'm predicting. As you noticed, I used a lot of estimates and assumptions in this calculation, and estimates and assumptions are bound to be inaccurate. That's why they're called estimates and assumptions. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. We use our best case, we use our best financial analysis to determine our base case and our base case forecasts. So, all that being said, my price target for Nvidia stock for 2024 could end up in the range of $145 per share to $155 per share. Thank you for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. I know there's a lot you could be doing with your time and a lot of other videos you could be watching. So I truly appreciate that you chose to watch this one. If you want to see more videos just like this, hit the subscribe or the like button. They'll both help me make more videos just like this one. Thank you again.